Have you ever had way too many coincidences in a day that it feels unreal? And that maybe you're living in a fake world and there's something out there trying to reach out to you? Now for this, you're gonna have to drop a bit of disbelief and just have an open mind. Like for most of my videos really. There really are times in life that makes you feel like you're living in a fake reality. Because to be honest, we could be, and we'd never know. What if all of this life is just an intro to another life? Or it's just a really realistic VR game that we're stuck in and we can't get out of. And it wipes all your memory of the actual outside world and all you know is this life that you're in now. Until you end up, dying or the end of your life. And then you wake up out of the VR and you're like, oh my god, that was a really good game. There's a possibility, you never know. And the only thing you believe to be true is this here right in front of your eyes. This video. No, this life. Coincidences truly could be anything, It could be yourself from the future trying to tell you something or give you a sign that something's going to happen. And they're making this coincidence or this thing happen to make sure that bad thing doesn't happen. Or it could even be God, which I guess some people would believe. Sorry, I get down a bit of a rabbit hole sometimes with my theories, but it wouldn't be fun if I didn't, right? For this, I'm talking from personal experience. I've had way too many coincidences in a certain amount of time that it's just made me stand there and think, there's no way this is real. If you've had that moment, you know what I'm talking about. But if you haven't, then when you do have that moment, it's so weird. It's like you break out of reality and just stood there like, wait a goddamn minute, what am I doing? Who am I? I guess you'll start questioning everything, but that is the point of life, to question stuff. Like sometimes it really makes me believe that anything could be possible in this life. Like all these mystical things and these theories and people say, they could all be right, they could all be true. Everything could happen one day. Everything. Like for one example of a coincidence that happens to a lot of people, it's happened to me a lot, is you're watching a YouTube video or a TV show or a movie and you pause it and then you say something or say a word and then you play it. And that same word or that saying that you just said is the next word that comes out the person's mouth on the show. Which is just a moment that doesn't feel like anything else. You're like, how have I just done this? Because it's like a 1 in a million possibility, I guess. Which has happened to me around 10 times, but it's still as crazy and mind-blowing every time. It really is a moment that can disconnect you from reality and makes you jump back in disbelief. Because what are the actual chances of that moment happening, and then happening again, and then happening again? And when you tell people, they'll just act like it's normal, a normal day-by-day thing. But in that moment, it really just feels like it's not. Because it's not. Because nobody ever actually believes that there's other stuff out there, other dimensions, other timelines. But truly anything is possible and anything will become possible in the future, if we actually make it there. Hell, even flying pigs will become a thing one day. But I was thinking about this idea the other day. If there were demons or like ghosts and stuff living among us and they just look like us, like normal people, just around us, and they're impossible to tell apart from other people, we just wouldn't have a clue. Because we just put it down to, oh yeah, that's just another person. You wouldn't think, oh, that's a demon, that's a ghost person just stood on a bus stop or whatever. But what if there was actual evidence that they, were an actual demon or a ghost or whatever? All the signs were there from their actions to the way they behave. Would anybody actually believe it? I mean, maybe some would, but most of the population wouldn't. Even with all the facts there, they still wouldn't believe that that's the thing, because in their mind, they can't believe that other stuff outside of their own lives and outside of this is real. Because it's impossible, right? And it's never happened before, so it can't be real. There has to be an explanation to it, right? It can't be this, it can't be that. It must be a prank or it must be faked. Because some people can't believe in the unbelievable until the world tells them it is real. The news and everyone around them, that's what it would take for them to believe. But even then, people doubt. Like for example, COVID. Even though it was everywhere and there was so much evidence, people still believed it to be a hoax. Or a lie from the media. Because, well, for many different reasons, obviously, like, oh, the government's planted it to make us, get up on a jig and buy stuff from the shops or whatever, buy all the toilet paper, give them more money. It's mostly because people can't believe outside of their own lives a lot of the time. Maybe it's because they don't have the imagination, or they just don't have the ability to believe that it's true until it happens to them or it is part of their lives. Going back to coincidences though, that word is hard to say, it's really annoying. I truly do believe they're a sign. Of what exactly, I'm not entirely sure. But if something that has 1 in a million chance happen 5 times in a day, that can't just be nothing, right? It has to be something. I mean, I'm the opposite than people who can't believe. I have to believe that there's other stuff out there. Because I feel like normal life, yeah, it's cool, but it is kind of dull at the end of the day. So I want to believe that there is other stuff, mystical shit, other timelines, other dimensions, because then that means there's something more than just this. On the other side of that though, what if there isn't an explanation for it? What if it's just nothing? What if it is just a thing that can happen sometimes, and that's it? A coincidence of coincidences, I guess. But if it is just that, then I'm fine with it. because I'm fine with having the theories and whatever. So it's a bit of fun to have the theories, isn't it? Even if it's not true or you don't entirely believe it to be true, having these theories, I don't know, I feel like it keeps stuff fun. What if at the end of the day, I'm just overthinking this? What if it was just my brain trying to mess with me and they weren't actual coincidences, they're just random things that happened? And my brain made me think they were these coincidences or were these other things. Because that truly is a thing. Even though your brain works for you, it also works against you at the same time. Making you think you saw things you didn't, hear things you didn't, making you think things that aren't true all the time, making you overthink things all the time. Like for example, deja vu, which isn't actually real, but that's for another video. In my opinion, I truly do believe coincidences are a sign, but that's just my opinion. Tell me your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. I'm Kolenzo, please subscribe for more videos in a bit.